Hey everybody, Greg here at Videomaker, here to talk about 6 steps to make sure you don't make a rookie mistake when setting up your shots. So there's a really easy acronym to remember this by, and it's PULWIF. It's actually a terrible acronym. It's a little bit easier to remember it with the mnemonic people, love, well, exposed, focused footage. So if you can use that as a memory, it'll help you develop this pattern so that you always make sure you get consistently good shots. So let's start with step 1, position. The way I like to do position is to take my camera handheld and basically move it around the scene until I figure out exactly sort of where the angle of my shot's gonna be. Or if I'm gonna do a move, I'll sort of just walk through it and make sure that, you know, everything looks good, there's no lights in the shots, things like that. And then I'll basically decide on that position and mount it to whatever support system I'm using. So once you've got it mounted to that support system, you need to level whatever support system you're using. So if you're on a ball head tripod, you can just loosen that and make sure that the bubble stays centered. If you don't have a ball head, that means you're gonna adjust those legs until you get that bubble in the center. And even if you're on a jib or a dolly, you still need to either straighten the jib or the dolly track. So, you know, it's definitely an important step to make sure that you have that done before you start shooting. The next step is gonna be white balancing, and the reason I put white balancing before exposure is because sometimes the exposure of your scene that you're shooting at is gonna be a little too bright for white balancing, so consequently, if you set your exposure, now you're gonna white balance, you're gonna expose down, and maybe if you're on a free range iris, you're not necessarily gonna hit that exact same spot. So I like to white balance first, and then expose next. So step 3 is white balancing, step 4 is exposure. Don't forget when you expose, you wanna make sure you turn on any neutral density you're gonna use. You wanna make sure you set the shutter speed to where you want it. That way you're not gonna have to adjust those things right at the end, which can affect step number 5, which is focus. So exposure and changing it can affect where your focus is. So you always wanna focus pretty much last, or at least at the very least after exposure. And if you wanna know more about how exposure and focus are related and you're a Plus member, we have a 2-part video tutorial on depth of field, and that'll basically tell you pretty much everything you need to know about it. If you're not a Plus member, we do have some great articles on depth of field, and you can check that out by clicking on the link as well. On a camcorder, a basic focusing procedure is zooming in, focus, and zooming out. You do want to make sure that you don't have a shifting f-stop if that's happened. So if your widest is a 1.6 and your telephoto is a 3.0, that can give you some mixed results when you're using the zoom in, focus, zoom back out method. So just be careful about that. Some other techniques you can do are using the focus assist or the magnification. That can help as well. So, no matter what your method, just make sure that you focus. And then once you've got your focus set, you can go ahead and frame up your shot and hit record. So there you have it, 6 steps to making sure you don't make a rookie mistake when you're setting up your shots. I'm Greg Olson with Videomaker. We'll see you next time.